Hi.
Warm welcome, everyone. I'm very excited that you are all here and joining this soul call. For those of you who don't know me yet, or if you're listening to the recording just because you're curious, I'm Iris van Ooyen, creator of twobrighteyes.com, and I've been using intuitive insights for over 15 years to support people, and I love doing that. It really is a joy and a pleasure. And about maybe a decade ago, I realized I am not just using intuitive insights to support people, but really also am the spokesperson for the carriers of light. And they are a group of energies or entities, if you will, that is here to help you raise your vibration so that you can carry more of your own light. And that raise in vibration is happening through their insights, through the healing energy that comes through in activations and in their answers. And today, I'm very curious to see what's going to unfold. There were like two nudges combined that made me feel like I had to host this call. The first is the past gathering with the Carriers of Light, where we spoke a lot about like your soul's plan and what that means before you come into this life. And given the ahas of the participants, I realized I should talk about this more often because more people need to hear this. And as I was working on the content for my upcoming virtual retreat, Healing Heaven, realizing that it really helps people get clear on events of the past year and how that impacted them, but also like how that might be part of their soul's plan, what they can learn from them, what the gift might be, and what they can do with that moving forward. I felt like this was the ideal combination to host today's call. So we'll start a little bit by speaking about like what is your soul's plan and what do I mean when I talk about that. We'll do a grounding activation right after, and there might be a message from the carriers, there might not. It's hard to predict. And then I'll open up the lines for any one of you who'd like to ask me to tune in for you for a particular event for the past year, see how that impacted you, how that is part of your soul's plan, and what you can learn from that moving forward. So I'm really excited to see what's going to come forward on today's call. And well, let's just get right to it. So what I mean when I talk about your soul's plan is, and it gives me chills, I believe that before we come into this life, before we like land as a person here on this planet, before we're born, we have, as a soul, we have a plan. So we have a specific reason to choose the parents that we did, to choose the country that we are born in, because it's all supporting part of our soul plan. So I believe that when we come into this life, there is something we either want to learn or experience as we are here in this physical body. And one of the challenges as we are here being human is it can feel like that's all there is, like it's so tangible, and that's part of the duality and part of the veil. We don't have 100% access to our soul and all our soul's wisdom. It would be too overwhelming if we did have that all the time. It's very hard to like fit all the energy of our soul into this very small, in comparison, physical body. So there's a couple of soul facets that are present when you are living your life, and those are the ones that you need as you're here. Sometimes one may transition out as a new one comes in, because that's what serves you for a new phase in your life. So your soul's plan is basically what you thought of on a soul level would be a good idea to experience. And the tricky thing is we forget about that when we are here in our physical body. Partly, as I said, because we just cannot contain all that information, but we can access it. We can access it sometimes through glimpses or nudges, because we feel a very strong pull to go somewhere or to not do something. And that's your soul, that's your inner wisdom speaking to you and giving you some guidance. And the more you are able to be in tune with what your soul's trying to tell you, the easier it is to navigate, the easier it is to get back on course when you've gotten on track, and the easier it is to stay on course, if that makes sense. Are there any questions so far? Okay, so you can just raise your hand. You can raise your hand through the screen because I can't see all of you at once. And then I'll see it in there's a shortcut you can use. Let me take a peek. Alt-Y or Y in Dutch. If you're on a PC and if you're on a Mac, you can use Option-Y to raise your hand or lower it when you realize the question's already answered. So no questions for now? Okay. So let's take a moment to ground, because most of the time we have too much energy running around in our head, and it's really useful to allow ourselves to open up to receive, especially intuitive insights, when we spread that energy evenly throughout our physical body. And that's what we'll do through this grounding exercise. So I'm not going to close my eyes because that's just easier for me to focus. Do whatever works for you. And I'd like you to place both your feet firmly on the floor. Feeling the weight of your feet rest on the floor. And if you want, you can place a hand on your lower belly to invite your breathing to deepen. And then with every exhale, send your energy and your awareness to your feet, to the earth beneath you. And feel how you're becoming more aware of your physical body. Then focus on your head and allow any excess energy in your head to slowly trickle down and spread itself evenly throughout your physical body. And focus your attention to the bottom of your spine. And there's an energetic cord that's usually flapping. So in your mind's eye, grab that energetic cord and tuck it in firmly to the center of the earth as an extra anchor to help you stay rooted. And then focus your awareness back to your feet. And imagine roots growing downward, just as if you were a tree. Allow these roots to grow down, as well as sideways, creating a vast network of roots, acting as a counterweight to anything that is present above the surface. Feel your feet getting heavier. And then relax your shoulders. And in a moment, we're going to take a few deep breaths in together to fully align our energy fields and to ensure that we're present here in this moment with all of your energy, attention, and focus. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Breathe in and release. Final deep breath in together and let it out. And I'm setting the intention that only that energy and information can come through that is in your highest good, that will help you take the best next step on your path, supports you in releasing what no longer serves you, and allows you to open up to the energy and the insights that support you in moving forward. And so it is. Focus your awareness on your feet, how they're resting on the floor. Bringing all of your energy and awareness back here into this moment and into this call. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. And whenever you're ready, you can open up your eyes. So I hope you all feel more present, more grounded. And as I said, your soul's plan is the plan that you have before you come here on this planet. And it's not just the location you pick and the body, but also the parents. And you usually have a contract with either mom or dad because there is free choice and you never know if mom and dad do end up together. And that is a very strong connection. And usually that is often the person that is also your catalyst. And your catalyst means someone who will trigger you to support you in learning whatever it is that you decided to learn here. And a catalyst can work in two ways, either through motivation and stimulation and praise, but more often we choose a catalyst to work through negative endorsement, through criticism, through being difficult and triggering us that way, because somehow as humans, we think that that's the better way to learn. It's a stronger stimulant, and it's more often, it's easier to listen to the hard stuff. We often find it very difficult to hold on to the praise and the positive, and it's very easy to deflect that and to not really fully take that in. So in general, I'd say 80% of the time, our catalyst works through triggering us through negativity. And I believe when we are on our soul's path, things happen, whether they're originally planned or not. As I said, it is the planet of free choice. So sometimes things happen. We may have gotten a little off track and we come across something. And that doesn't mean it can't be something that we can still learn from, even when it was not scripted, so to speak. So what I'd like to do is open up the lines for all of you to raise your hand and see if I can tune in for you to get clarity on a specific event in the past year, which is a very tumultuous year for all of us because of definitely the pandemic and everything that has triggered in everyone, and the fear that has been running rampant and that has been so difficult, or at least has cost a lot of energy to keep at bay or to manage and to focus on staying positive. So feel free to raise your hand so I can tune in for you and help you get clarity. And if you don't know how to raise your hand, you mean you can still wave. I can look around and see that, but you can, okay. Yeah, I see Miriam waving and Sydney. Okay, so Miriam, can I start with you?
Yes.
Yeah, there you are.
Yes.
Go ahead. What can I help you with? Is there a specific event that you already have in mind?
Well, I've made a huge decision last year.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious about what the message might be. If I'm on track.
Yeah.
On the right track.
Are you willing to share what that decision was?
I left my corporate job and started my own business full time. I have been doing that for 8 years next to my corporate job. So, and it didn't feel like a fit anymore. So I left that world, and now I'm starting to develop fully in my own company. So
yeah, that gives me chills. So it definitely feels like the right decision, and I think you do that. And I think it's been like building up. It's been coming, and I feel the way that you've approached it is to build up some of your confidence and some of like the practical stuff in your business before you chose to go for it full time, to ease your mind a little bit and to also practically make it like a doable and not as huge decision as like going from 100 to 0 or 0 to 100. And it gives me chills, and that it feels like that was the right path for you. I mean, it's different for everyone. For some people, it means that they have to like rigorously quit and then focus on something. It gives me chills. This does feel like the right one for you. Let's see if the carriers have anything specific to add.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Oh, and as I'm speaking to Miriam, I am speaking to all of you. So if anything that I'm sharing for her resonates for you, it's meant for you as well, even though I'm specifically tuning in for her. But they have a specific way of addressing more than one person. Dear one, we applaud you and we salute you, for you have taken the step that you have longed for to take for many years. Since you were a child, you have been dreaming of this day where you would be utilizing your intuitive abilities to support others, where you would no longer have to hide, where you would no longer have to tone yourself down, where you would no longer have to limit the abilities of what you are able to see and perceive for others. For you to have taken this step to allow more of your intuition, more of your energy, more of your light to shine through is a beautiful, powerful step forward to embodying more of who you truly are here on this planet. For you to embody more of who you truly are and to let your light shine more brightly is for you to take up your place and to take up the step that you are meant to take in order for things to fall into place with you and around you. For you to take up your rightful place and your original path means that pieces of the puzzle are able to fall in place, not just for you, for those of you around you. You are allowing yourself to let more of the energy flow through your system, and it will benefit your physical well-being as well. As more of the energy flows through you, you will see more release of blockages, more release of where you've toned yourself down, and more release of where you kept yourself small, allowing yourself to expand into areas you have not been able to allow yourself to expand into before. Know that you are valued, know that you are appreciated, and know that we encourage you to keep on blooming, keep on blossoming, and keep on expanding your reach, expanding the amount of energy and the amount of light that you're able to carry and that you're able to inhibit within your physical body. Know that as you progress forward, the invitation is to continue to pay attention to your physical body and the signs it might be giving you, as it may steer you into the direction of growth and into the direction of releasing those physical inabilities or those physical ailments that have been present for a while. Allow yourself to step forward, allow yourself to open up your heart, your mind, and your soul, and receive more and more of the energy that you are meant to receive so that you can serve who you came here to serve. And so it is. How's that feel?
I'm touched. Yeah.
Anything that stood out in specific?
No.
Okay. Well, I hear you're still processing. So allow yourself, yes, allow yourself to take it in. It's on the recording. Yeah, you can always re-listen, and
okay.
You're so welcome. I'm happy for you.
Felt the love.
Oh, good.
I felt that love. Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah, it's beautiful. All right, Sydney.
Hi, Iris. Wow, it's been a long time.
Hi. Yes, it has been a while. It's a little hard to hear you.
Oh, is that any better?
It's a little better. Yeah, if you can get closer to the mic.
Okay, wait, maybe if I turn the head.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, I have, I guess the big thing that changed for 2020, I don't know that it was really 2020. I think most of it has been now, but that I've started to consider pursuing another relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And and I guess my question is around whether it's a diversion or on my path. So much is changing right now. My mom just passed. My
I'm sorry.
dearest friend, an old friend's father just passed. It's just been just like, I guess it feels like shell shock.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if this is on path with wanting to focus my business more on the card readings than the actual more generic kind of life coaching.
So what I'm sensing first and foremost is like there's a deep need for love. And I think that's really tied to the pursuing of the relationship, as you call it.
Yeah.
Because there's just literally, and I guess my chills, a need for that. And not surprising given everything you mentioned and with your mom passing away and that their friend's father, and I mean everything with the pandemic and the distancing that's happening. So it feels like you crave connection, you crave that support. And
Yeah.
I think in this instant that craving is more important, like the soothing that it brings you of the connection is really what you need right now to allow yourself to get back to balance. What you said about the shell shock, it really feels like that's the coldness, if I can call it like that, that you're in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it gives me chills because of the absence of your mom and a few other things. And
Yeah.
I believe that what you're worrying about a little bit is like, is this relationship a long-term relationship or not? And I think that's not relevant at the moment. I believe short relationships can be just as powerful and just as beautiful. We often tend to think that longer is better, but sometimes, and it gives me chills, but sometimes a short relationship is exactly what we need for that period of time. And it's, I understand the desire to want to know it, but I feel the invitation is, yeah, the invitation really is to be present, and it gives me chills, to be present in the moment, to take it in. And it gives me huge chills to allow yourself to take that in, take in that love, take in that support, take in that appreciation, because that's what soothes you. And that's really the most important thing that you need right now. The business comes second. You are so off balance that you can't fully be there for your clients if you don't take care of yourself first. Does that resonate?
That resonates hugely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most important thing. And whenever you feel like you're going into your head, like you want to know the answers, you want to know like the next step, strike and ground, bring yourself back to the present, bring yourself back to like this moment, and just appreciate what is, and go from there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Okay, I see Mariette waving, but I'm first going to Sarah because she raised her hand before that, and then Tracy. Okay. Sarah.
Hi.
Hi.
Time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boston, right?
Yeah. So I bought a house and moved right when COVID was starting last March here. And I love the location of where I am, but I'm not loving the house, and I'm already feeling like maybe I want to move, but I'm not quite sure about that yet. And then kind of another thing was that my brother had a really serious medical issue in December. So those are the two things that kind of stand out for me from last year. So
yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know if there's anything you can offer there. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So the first thing that comes to mind with the house is, have you tried cleansing the energy of the house?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
And did you feel like that made a difference?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done it for a while, but yeah, of course I did that.
Yeah. So I'd say maybe there's more to cleanse there. I feel like there's some like old sticky energy that you are responding to, which may not make it feel as much as, and it gives me chills, as much as home as it could be. I'd say try that first before you move, because it doesn't feel like you have had a chance to like fully land in the house, partially because of, and it gives me chills, partially because of the whole, it's been a crazy year. So like it's not a normal getting acquainted with the house and the neighborhood, etc., because it's just like all over the place. And like that sticky energy, I feel that that's in the house, but I also feel it's important for you personally to cleanse your energy daily, because you're highly sensitive. You're picking up on a lot of things that are going on the planet. Like I said before, it's been a crazy year. A lot of people are feeling fear, and it's like there's this cloud of fear on the planet. And if you're highly sensitive, you have to work to like not be affected by it. I can feel it myself. It just takes literally more energy to keep that at bay. And to just make sure that at least once a day you cleanse your energy field to make sure that you don't carry too much of other people's worries and concerns with you. Does that resonate so far?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that might help you feel a little lighter, and might help you might help give you some clarity on maybe some spaces in the house that need attention, whether that's energetically or maybe moving a few things around, see if that might help balance the energy a little bit, because it feels like a little like askew or something. So I do understand that you're not 100% feeling at home. I'm not immediately seeing a new home for you. So it feels like doing these things first, and like taking on more of the house as like a warm, comfortable, snuggly coat is the main first invitation. And I'm sensing what you mentioned with your brother really gave you a scare. Yeah. And impacted you so much. And I feel like there's still some trauma there that you haven't fully dealt with. And it feels like it made you so, it confronted you like with, what's the right word? The frailness of life. And it gives me chills. And I believe that that's touching on a deeper layer, a deeper sadness inside you that needs addressing. And you could maybe start journaling, just go into that inner dialogue with yourself to maybe start by like thinking back of the day when you heard, and it gives me chills, when you heard the news about your brother, and then just start writing that out and then see what else comes up, because it really feels like there's so much unprocessed grief that's still present, and that's just present in your body as well, and that's not helping.
Right. Yeah. I think it's sort of tied to my mother's death, which was the year before. On the good side, though, I feel like it brought me closer to my 2 nephews. So that was kind of
And that gives me chills.
Gift out of it. Yeah.
And that's beautiful when you can see like the positive in a sad situation. Yeah, that's very powerful. It gives me chills, actually. Yeah. And I'm sensing that, like, what I said, like, there's still grief within you. There's really tied to your mom, which makes total sense.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're so welcome. Mariette.
Thank you, Harris. 2020 was for me a year I started, like Miriam, my own business in January. And February, COVID came along. Fortunately, in September, I got een opdracht. Hoe zeg je dat in het Engels?
Assignment.
I got assignment. And that cost me a lot of energy, but it was nice energy. My mom she suffers from dementia, and my dad passed away, and all that together costs me a lot of me. And at this moment, I got another assignment. And I experienced with my mom that her dementia is going down. So I like to know how I can manage my energy to the business, to mom, but most of all, for me.
Yeah.
That I don't lose myself.
So I would start by grounding. I'm going to mute you for a moment because there's echo. I'd say start by grounding every morning, every evening. Take a moment to ground yourself, and that really helps you be centered, but it also helps you to be more aware of your physical body. So that makes it easier to realize, like, when you're maybe more tired than you thought you were. It makes it easier to listen to your intuition, so you can hear those inner nudges telling you to go left or right. I'd say that's the biggest one. And just the fact that you're asking the question is beautiful, because it means you are aware that self-care is important. And I'd say it's like your number one priority for all of us, because if we don't take care of ourselves, then we've got nothing to give to others. And I'd say give yourself maybe permission to do that fully, and see like what that means. Get clear on the things that help you recharge, and make sure you do at least one of those every day. And I'd say take at least an hour. We need it 1 hour a day just for ourselves, and doing something that makes us happy. So if you like walking, go for a walk, but then go for a walk with the intention of just really enjoying yourself and enjoying the scenery. If you're going out there with the intention of, oh, I need to get my 10,000 steps in, it's a really different energy, and it's not, and it gives me chills, and it's not as recharging, because then it becomes something to tick off your to-do list. So be really conscious about the energy with which you do things. Does that help?
Oh, yes, it does. Yes.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
You're so welcome. Tracy, and then Yolanda.
So I think my question is about what does it mean for my soul's plan that 2020 was full of a great amount of disruption and upheaval, and it was partly the pandemic, but it also was that the place that I live, which is a sort of special community with a lot of people just in two side-by-side buildings. We've had all this construction around us from train lines being built in very, very close to our building, like very, very close. And all kinds of construction of the roads and new developments going in. And as a consequence, a bunch of people who are my neighbors and friends moving away. So there's just been enormous turmoil sort of in the scene around me. And also my mother passed away in July last summer.
Yeah.
So, and with the COVID lockdown and so on and so forth. So I'm just wondering, it's like an awful lot of turmoil.
Yes. Yeah. And it feels like on all levels, mentally, emotionally, physically.
Yeah.
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 It feels like it's on all the areas. And it got chills as you were speaking, and also like as you were indicating like the closeness of the train lines, and it gives me chills again when I say that. So I have a feeling the carriers have something to say about that.
Okay, great.
Dear one, your invitation has been to stay focused on who you are and on what you need, by not getting derailed through the events taking place in your vicinity, by allowing yourself to learn how to focus more deeply, by being able to shut out the disturbances in your direct surroundings, both physically as well as emotionally, by being forced to spend even more time by yourself, by being forced to spend time focusing on who you are and what you need, and by allowing yourself to notice the derailments and notice the impact that they had on your system. You are a highly sensitive soul, and you are in need of protection of too much noise, too much input, and too much impulses. The overburdening of all this stimuli has been having a deep effect on your physical system and your physical well-being. Your body asks for you to make conscious choices as for what you do and do not allow into your life, and what you do and do not allow into your system. You have progressed greatly in making conscious choices about who and what you are allowing into your inner being, into your inner circle. For you to progress on your soul's path is for you to double down even further on focus on what you need, on what you're here to bring, and on what brings you balance or disruption. Getting crystal clear on what it is that you need, and allowing yourself to paint a picture of ideal circumstances, ideal situations, and ideal people being present in your life, allowing yourself to be fulfilled in so many ways and so many dimensions, is for you to allow yourself to open up to what is truly possible. If you allow yourself to dream, if you allow yourself to be guided there, and if you allow yourself to open up to the possibility that it is possible to have the space, to have the clarity, to have the support, both inner and outer, in your surroundings as well as in your being, to allow you to do more fully what you came here to do, to bring forth more of your light, more of your wisdom, and more of your insights. Allow yourself to get clear one step at a time. Allow yourself to get clear one step at a time, as there is no need to rush, no need to force yourself, but it's an invitation to open up the door to more opportunities to become available into your life, more flow and more experiences that are supporting you. And so it is. Does that resonate?
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. All right, let me take a sip before we go to Yolanda. Yolanda.
Thank you, Iris. Well, last year has been a year of sort of goodbye because my office moved from my hometown to Oosterhout, and several people weren't going with us. They had to go.
Mm-hmm.
And well, after halfway in March, I didn't need to go to the office in Oosterhout anymore because I worked fully from home office.
Mm-hmm.
So it has been quite a distance from work. And at the end of last year, I found out that I had still the option to leave work with
Package.
that you get an amount of money. Yes. So during my Christmas holiday, I immediately decided I want to do this, but I thought over it again and stayed with it. I want to do this. So I told my work this in January that I will stop. And the end of June, I will stop work.
Mm-hmm.
And start my own business. So the first one, Miriam, that resonated a lot with me.
Yeah. Chills.
Yes, but it's still like it still feels not easy to, even though the distance is quite big to all the people I've been working with, and there is not that much left.
Mm-hmm.
It still feels not easy to finally say goodbye.
Yeah. No, and I have a sense it's a combination of factors. It's not just that you know these people so well and you've worked with them for so many years and you're going to miss them. But I also feel like it's a little bit of the anxiety in taking this step, releasing a large part of your career and starting to focus yourself on your, I'm assuming you're referring to your coaching business, right?
Yes, it will be hypnotherapy now, but yeah, that's coaching as well. So
yeah. Oh, great. Yes, we haven't spoken in a few years, but so I feel like there's some apprehension there, and there's some excitement because I really feel like you're ready to let go of your old job, and it gives me chills. Does feel like that is the right decision for you, and it's a beautiful coincidence that you can do it in such a supported way. And it's natural that there's some apprehension and some anxiety around then making this new hypnotherapy business your full-time thing, and to tell the world like, hey, this is me and this is what I'm doing. Look at me, which you have done, but which you haven't had to do to rely on financially. And that's different. And it's very natural that like takes some extra pressure. So I feel like it's a beautiful combination of releasing and letting go, and being very conscious of that process. Also remembering that the people that you know that you love from your work, you can still stay in touch even when you don't work with them. And to allow yourself to have these couple of months until the end of June to more fully grow into being that business owner and being that therapist, and to allowing yourself to be guided when it comes to like what's the right way to do things, how to move forward, and to trust that there's a reason that you've been put on this path. And I know it's probably taken longer than you thought or hoped, but I feel like the meandering route that you've taken has allowed you to explore certain different things and has allowed you to build up some confidence and some courage. And I think that's really important, and you're gonna be so glad that you did, and that's what you're gonna benefit from, and that's what your clients will benefit from moving forward. Does that resonate?
Yes, it does. And I definitely feel a lot more comfortable nowadays to be visible than a few years ago. So that's a definite thing, yes.
Yeah, and it's beautiful to see that difference.
Mm-hmm.
So that's well done. Very well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Exciting.
Yes.
Thank you so much, and I'll keep an eye on how you're moving forward. That's exciting.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other questions? Mark, are you waving your hand? Yes.
Yes, I was waving my hand. Just wondering, Iris, I have a why question. It occurred to me, and in our previous calls as well, that I'm mostly the only man attending. And not to make this a man-woman thing, but I was just, it occurred to me, how is there a reason behind that? Is the amount of testosterone that we are coping with keeping us from going to our soul or diving deeper in the soul plan you're mentioning, that triggers me enormously, because that's what I'm looking for, or I feel more connected to that. The moment you mentioned that last time, I really felt like that's the thing I'm feeling all the time, and it's so great to have a word for it, to drag that more to my conscience instead of only something that pops out of my subconsciousness. And but now more to a concrete question, and I look at myself. I'm in the middle of the sunshine here.
Yeah, which is great. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that something that it's more attracted, or is it my feminine side that's more that I let speak out more?
So I do tend to attract more women than men. I'd say 20 to 30% of my clients is male. I do have several private clients who are male. They're also what I would call the more special men, as in, as they are more aware, more in touch with who they are, more conscious about how they live in this world. And I'm sure there are more of you out there. But I think it's maybe for women a little easier to get in touch with their intuition and to allow ourselves to be vulnerable than it is for men. It does feel like that is a bigger step. I don't know whether that's your testosterone or just like culture.
Yeah.
And the way we're raised, but that is definitely something that I've noticed over the years. When you said like there, it's great to have a word for it. Did you mean soul plan?
Soul plan, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So let's see the carriers have anything else to add, but that's what I'm getting so far. Yeah. Okay. Dear one, your intriguing question makes us smile. The duality with which you live on this planet, dark and light, male and female, on and off, is one of the things that makes life on this planet so exciting. For without duality, there would not be contrast. And without contrast, there would be no need to grow, no need to expand, no need to shift and change. As you speak about the differences between male and female human beings here on this planet, you speak about the differences in soul plans and the differences in purpose. The reason for choosing a male or a female body are closely aligned to the soul plan for that soul in that particular lifetime. For a human vehicle allows for a certain experience, which is highly different in your cultures from the male or the female perspective. Some experiences are easier to have in the female body, some are easier to obtain through the male body, which is one of the main reasons that you choose the specific vehicle that you have chosen. The bodies that you inhabit allow you to experience certain things in certain ways, not just the height or the color of your eyes, the build of your body, the mentality, the amount of health, the amount of energy, the amount of light flowing through your system, but especially the way with which you are looking at the world, the crystalline structure behind your eyes that allows you to see through a unique perspective, embodying certain elements of your soul and your soul's being. For you to be put on this specific path through your soul is for you to allow yourself to experience certain vulnerabilities and certain experiences from the male perspective while being very much in touch with your more feminine side, while you are allowing yourself to be very much connected to your inner wisdom and your intuition, and allowing that to flow forward and support you into the more masculine world that you often operate in. The profession that you have chosen is usually a profession that requires more finesse, more intuition, and more being in touch with the human needs than some of the other professions. For this profession allows you to explore more of your unique abilities and more of your innate character traits, innate desires when it comes to getting more fully aligned with who you are at your core and getting more fully aligned with the inner wisdom that resides within you. For now, we wish you much joy. We wish you much pleasure. We know many more questions are brewing within your mind, and we invite you to be present with those, and allow yourself to be guided towards the answers in due time. Allow yourself to be supported, allow yourself to be guided upon your path, and allow yourself to receive those supports, those insights, and those energies that will help you carry forward, help you be carried along on your path. And so it is. Did that resonate?
Yes, it did. Yeah. Also, the connection they make with my profession, yeah, because it's 80% intuition with what I'm doing my work with. So, yeah, it fits.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to show my feminine side now. Or the feminine energy, or how you call it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a great question. Yeah.
And yeah, yes, a lot of more questions are popping up, but that's more a question of knowing knowledge.
Yeah.
And not feeling. So it's not appropriate for now.
No, and then they show me like the scientific side of you as they were saying that.
Yeah.
And your interest there. Yeah. Yeah. Which is totally perfect. Yeah. Not for this call, indeed. Yeah.
No. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. And I really love how they made that connection, like how we choose the male or the female body to have a certain experience, and how one or the, and these materials, one or the other is just so much more appropriate for experiencing certain things here on this planet. And yeah, I think that's beautiful. And the deeper we dive into getting clear on what we're here to do, how certain events impact us, how what we've placed on our own soul's path may like not just have an impact on us, but either when we experience it, are we able to see the full benefit, or are we able to take in fully all the meanings it has, or the gifts that it brings with us, which is sometimes or most of the time easier when it's like a happy something rather than when it's something difficult or painful. Yeah, and that makes me think of Healing Heaven, which I mentioned earlier, which is my upcoming virtual retreat that I'm very excited about. It's the first time that this is being done virtually, which of course I would prefer so much for all of us to be in person. And some of you present on this call have been to the physical retreat, which we've held in the south of the Netherlands on a beautiful estate. But this time we're gonna gather virtually, and it's happening on March 5th and 6th on a Friday and a Saturday. And what we'll be doing is we'll dive in deeply to what has last year brought you, how has that impacted you? Are there things that you still need to get clarity on those events? We'll focus especially on integrating change, because it's something that we usually don't take enough time for. I know it sometimes feels like when I'm integrating, it doesn't feel like I'm doing anything, but I also know it's so crucial and so important. And when I don't take that time, when I don't take the time to integrate that, it'll like catch up with me later. When we integrate, it's like we create a solid foundation for us to continue building upon. And it's one of the main reasons that I did create Healing Heaven way back when. And if that speaks to you, you can read all about it at healingheaven.nl. If you sign up today, you get access to a special bonus Q&A call for 2 weeks after the event, so we can like dive deeper into the insights and how they've impacted you and what other questions surfaced from that. There is still an early bird happening, so I'll include all the information in the email with the recording. I also highly recommend that you re-listen to the recording whenever that feels right, because usually the second time that you hear things, there's like new information that you can take in. There's new things that you're like, did she really say that the first time? So I hope this call has served you. Thank you so much for everyone who has asked a question. I had a lot of fun. I hope it has brought you clarity and insights. And if you feel called to join Healing Heaven, you are warmly welcome. There are still a couple of seats left. And wish you a magical weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, Ida.